Hi, I'm Donald. I write Dining with Donald, and I'm also an Anglican priest. I'm here today in the kitchen at Holy Trinity Anglican Church in downtown Winnipeg. We are running out of here a program called the Lunchroom, where we're offering hot meals and a place to sit down and have conversation for people who are having difficulty in life, just may need a meal, or may just need somebody to talk to. Unfortunately, with the outbreak of the coronavirus COVID-19, we've had to go on a hiatus for a couple of weeks. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you a sample of the kind of meal that we would cook on a regular basis for a Tuesday. So this is an Irish stew. It's not exactly just beef and potatoes, if that's your idea of an Irish stew, but it's still a simple and a straightforward meal, and that's what we're aiming for. Healthy meals that are easy to prepare, cost efficient, but give people a good meal to continue their day on. So I've got here all the things that are going to go into this dish today. We have 1.5 pounds of ground beef, which was picked up from my local Family Foods just down the street from Holy Trinity. There's potatoes. I'm going to use baby potatoes rather than the larger size. Carrots, some thyme for seasoning. Then we have celery, onion and beef stock. And we have olive oil, salt, pepper, and then a little flour that'll get mixed in again. Now I could sit here and make you watch the video of me chopping all of these vegetables, etc. But instead of doing that, what I'll do is I'll get all that stuff prepared, and then we'll pick up from there on what the rest of the preparation involves. So, as you can see, the stew beef is browning by my magical arm. The chunks here are a little smaller than you would normally expect in a stew like this, but I don't mind. I actually prefer lots of little chunks to several big chunks. So right now it's just olive oil, salt and pepper, and the beef that's browning, and there's half the beef in there now, and I'll brown the other half in a couple of minutes. So for the next step in the process, I'm adding in the onions that are called for. I decided to also add a little bit of celery. So that's the next step, is to add the onions and celery, and I'm going to add the thyme as well. There goes the thyme. And so that's supposed to now cook down for about 8 or 10 minutes. And then we'll come back and add a few more ingredients at that point. Okay, so we have allowed the onions and the celery to cook down a little bit. And the one thing that a video like this can't capture is just how well everything really smells. The aroma in the kitchen right now is absolutely fantastic, and we're only halfway through the recipe, so this is going to be amazing by the time it's finished. So I'm adding the flour now. We'll just sort of dump it in like that. That's 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons equals an eighth of a cup, if you don't necessarily happen to have a tablespoon measure around. That's always worth knowing. So we're supposed to coat all the beef with the flour. I guess we'll also be coating some of the celery and the onions. That's those things that we've chopped up in onions. So they'll be chopped as well. So this is well coated. Now, we're going to add a cup of beef stock. And I'm thinking, pretty much every one of us, maybe not, but if you're my age, you had a 2-cup measure like this in your house sometime in your life, and of course, church kitchens are where these things go for retirement. So, we're adding a cup of beef stock, and then while we do that, we stir it up so that any of the flour that has stuck to the bottom, and any other nice tasty bits that have stuck to the bottom, they are all going to get brought up and mixed in together to form the basis of the gravy. Now I'm going to make a quick check on the recipe to see whether or not I need to add a little more water, because it says to bring it to the boil at this point, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of liquid in there, so I'm just going to give that a quick check before I come and do the rest of it. Okay, so this is the thing. The recipes I have actually call for Guinness, but we're not using Guinness in this record. This is going to be a teetotaler kind of recipe. So I'm adding actually the equivalent of the Guinness in beef broth. So this will be a rich, really rich and brothy soup anyway by the time it gets done. So now then the next step is to bring that to a boil, and we'll stick it in the oven for an hour. And when that's done, we'll add the potatoes and carrots, and we'll stick it back in the oven for another hour and a quarter or so. Okay, as you can see, the stew has been brought to a boil. So I'm going to reach over here. Sorry, I have turned my back on you there. And I'm going to put the lid on, and step around here, and stick it into our preheated oven. There we go. That's in the oven. Now that is going to sit in the oven for an hour. Then I'll pull it out, add the potatoes and carrots, and it'll go in for about another hour and a quarter. Okay, so we're ready to get back at it. It is now about an hour that the stew has been sitting in the oven. So I'm going to go this way, and hey, you know what? I'm even going to try and stay in the right direction so you see me on camera for a couple of more minutes. So what more could you ask for? Here I go into the oven. You won't see this. And I pull out my pot. So there it is. I don't know if you're going to get close enough to see if it's really steaming and bubbling, but it is, and it just, again, smells fantastic. The gravy is nice and thick. So then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the carrots. So here, I did not peel them, I just scrubbed them good and proper. I'm more of a scrubber than a peeler. It's kind of like being a lover, not a fighter, I think. But so we'll mix all those in there. That looks fantastic. Here's the first bowl of potatoes. Let's also mix that in there. And that should be doing quite good. And then we'll add the second bowl of potatoes, and as you can see, we're pretty much up to the capacity of this pot, but that's okay. I think it's a pretty good thing here. Mix those in a little bit more. And once again, we'll get a close-up of me as I do this. I'm going to reach in. There's the rest of the beef stock. And pour that in, put a little bit over on the edge onto the stove, but I like to add a little something. So that will be rich and beefy, and that's going to go back into the oven now for another hour and 15 minutes. And hopefully when that's done, we will have a delicious and tasty Irish stew. I'll just get the pot holders on. I don't want to burn my hands. The lid goes back on. And over here to open the oven. Untied. And there you go. Back in the oven. It's going to be another hour and 15 minutes. And then we'll get a chance to taste it and see if it's as good as it's looking. Okay. So here's the stew. So here's the stew. It's fresh out of the oven. The smell is wonderful. all over the place. There, it just fills the whole place. There's the stew inside. I don't know if I can move that even closer, just leaning over a little bit. That looks terrific. Made a little bowl full. It is even with the 2 tablespoons of flour, a little bit runnier than I would prefer, but that's okay. It's a good stew. It's got lots of gravy to it. Now, of course, the turkey part, the taste test, and I should have got a spoon beforehand. Back with a fork and a spoon, just to taste the chunky bits there, potato. Very nicely cooked. Still quite hot. And the beef is nice and tender. I've got 2 extra bowls here because Pappy, the other parish priest, and Gwen, the administrator, are here, and so I'm going to serve them up each bowl as well. So that's the Irish stew. It's good, it's economical, and it's really tasty. Hopefully during the next few months or so I'll be sharing a few more recipes. I'm also going to do some other stuff for my own, just for my own blog. Got some taste tests of some hot sauces from Winnipeg coming up, and I hope to have more stuff to share with you in the next few weeks. Talk to you later. Take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands, and God bless. Bye.